Everybody knew that was a lie. Everybody knew that he was not a guerrilla. Everybody knew that he was the Mining Federation leader, and that's why he was killed. And so everybody in every village got up and said, we're marching to say threaten more union leaders like Teofilo. And they threatened the Catholic priests. Because the priests there have stood with the people, with the miners. 2 priests. And one, when he was threatened, left. He went back to Spain. He was from Spain. But the other one stayed and said, no, I'm going to stay here. His life isn't there. So we now accompany all these people. We kind of try to stay with them whenever they're traveling or going to big meetings and things. That's our work. Whatever you want. The stories will go to the end because there's more stories than there is time. So I'm going to stand here and just narrate them as we go. We're going to start right here in Ontario with the Algonquins. Did you know we have our own Mississippi River? It's gorgeous. Look at it. It's pristine. It's in Algonquin territory. It's the headwaters of the Ottawa River, the headwaters of the St. Lawrence. It's beautiful. But our wonderful provincial government, our Ontario government, gave a mining permit out to Frontenac Ventures to go in and mine uranium. Well, I don't know if you know, but uranium mining creates tailings that poison the rivers. It will destroy this area. And this is Algonquin territory. And the Algonquins, they're only 5 hours from here. You can drive there real quick. They're the only First Nation in Ontario that doesn't have a treaty with the Canadian government. They've never sold their land. They've never been conquered in war. They've never traded away any land. So it's their land. And anybody living on it is a settler on their land. And so when they heard about this uranium mining, they said, hell no. You're not going to destroy this watershed. You're not going to mine uranium on our land. It's not going to happen. And so they put up a blockade on the mining road to go back into the area where they wanted to do the mining. And the local settlers, the white folk who live in the area, they don't want the mine either in their backyards, oiling their rivers. So they're out in front of the gate, and they're standing there right with the Algonquins saying, no way, we're not going to have any uranium mine here. This was the 31st of August, 2007. I was there. I took this picture. They invited our team to come. This is Jim Loney from Toronto. This is Rebecca Johnson from Toronto. David Milne from Belleville, and myself. Because they thought there might be violence when they read that injunction. They wanted us to be there. We're a violence reduction team. So we were there. This is the chief, one of the chiefs, Doreen Davis. And she's talking to the settlers. And she said, now, we're non-violent. We're not going to have any violence. They're going to come here and they're going to read the injunction. We're not going to stop them or try to stop them. But we don't want to hear it. We don't read the injunction. It's right in the middle there. This is going to read there. And the drums started. And the chanting started. We didn't hear a word. It was great. And then they left. Here they are walking away. And they belong to the liaison officers. ART is the Aboriginal Justice Team. It's called ART. Aboriginal Relations Team. This is an Aboriginal woman, a First Nations woman who's an OPP officer. And her job was to come to the barricade every day and talk with the Algonquins. And this is Michelle, I met with her often. Major events liaison team. She came every day and she talked to the white folk, to the settlers, and she talked to the mining company. And instead of coming in with a SWAT team, the OPP has learned their lesson. That you can't solve a problem like this, which is political, with physical force. and they refused to apply physical force. They sent a negotiating team in and tried to get people to move towards sitting down at the table and solving the problem. It was terrific. We were really happy that the OPP had changed their ways. And our job was easy because we didn't have any violence. We were respecting it. However, the mining company was again very unhappy. They still didn't get in. Well, those liaisons going on, they're not getting through that gate. So they went back to court. This is the Kingston court. And they got the judge to issue summonses to bring all the leaders of the Algonquins into court and charge them with contempt of the injunction. The judge had ordered that road open, and they refused to open it, therefore they are in contempt of the order of the court. So all the leaders came in. Harry Perry is a retired former chief of the Algonquins. Bob Lovelace is a retired chief also, but he's a professor at Queen's University, which is right next to the courthouse. And all his students were in court. Paula Sherman is also a university professor at Trent. And these people, they knew their politics and their law. Earl Bador was the warrior chief. And he and I had a real discussion. I said, we don't believe in war. And he says, no, warrior just means I'm in charge of security. And it's going to be nonviolent. So our security, we're not leaving. We're not going to abandon this blockade. And that's my job. And the Dory you've already met. Well, the judge found Robert Lovelace in contempt, sent him to jail for the longest possible time, gave him a huge fine. The other leaders decided to sign on a piece of paper saying they wouldn't go back to the blockade. And the reason they did that was so the Algonquin leadership wouldn't be decapitated, cut off. They still have most of their leaders out of jail. But Bob Lovelace became the sacrificial lamb, so to speak, and he went to jail. When they announced that he was going to jail, I was in the courtroom. Everybody stood up and said, no! We couldn't believe it. This requires a political solution. It doesn't require, he's not a criminal. He's a political prisoner now. He didn't know that Ontario had political prisoners. Well, Bob Lovelace was a political prisoner. That was on February 15th last year. So we began to do some public witness, calling attention to what's going on. Bob Lovelace has been shackled, but so has Aboriginal rights been shackled. So has justice been shackled. So has democracy been shackled. And we had a visit from Trout Lake leaders, KI. They're way north of Thunder Bay, a flying community. And they came down to visit us because they had the same situation. We are in contempt. We're blockading that road too. We don't want that mine. And John Hudson and Frank are both settlers. They live in the area. And John Hudson and David are both Christian peacemakers. So all three of them went to court. Same court, same judge, same offense. And they dropped the charges. They gave them no penalties at all. Didn't send them to jail, no fines. But worst of all, no voice. They went to court so they could tell the world what was going on here and stand in solidarity with the First Nations people, shoulder to shoulder. And they were shut up. You didn't know that our Ontario courts are racist. They are. If you're Native, you go to jail. If you're white, you don't. There was more to it than that. That night I spoke in Beaverton on a panel with Paula Sherman. And I said, this is blatant racism. And she spoke after me. She says, yes, it's racist. The courts are racist. He said, but that's not why they let them go and they put us in jail. The reason is because if we win, if we succeed in stopping the mining, then mining all across all Ontario is in danger from the Ontario government's point of view. Because there are Native communities all across Ontario. So they had to hit the Native people hard. She says, that's why they put us in jail and not you. You're no threat to them. We are.